Welcome. This is open office hours for Thursday, April 20th. And I've got Sue here so far. Hello, good to see ya. And we can jump right in. Sue, for the moment, it's you and me. So if you've got a question you want to start off with or anything you want help with, we can certainly dive in there. Hey, Katrina, welcome. Just getting started. Hello. Do you guys have questions you'd like to start off with? Or do you want to see Katrina does? Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. This
Yeah.
is my first time here, so
Welcome.
thank you. We do have a few questions. So we do a 3-week course.
Okay.
That we repeat it every month. And right now, there's a certain start date for each month for each students to start. And we also have live coaching calls for each month. The challenge for us right now is trying to actually turn it into an evergreen course. And that's where we were kind of confused on how we can turn it into an evergreen course because so for example, May right now we're starting May 1st and it goes on for 3 weeks. And then we have a live kickoff call, a live coaching call in the middle, and then a live call, kind of like a celebration call at the end of it.
Cool.
Right now we're thinking we can make the kickoff call a recording because it mostly just goes over logistics. That's not a problem, but we really want to try to keep the live coaching call and the last celebration call because we kind of offer an upsell at that
Cool.
celebration call. So we really want to try to keep those, but our problem is if we turn it into an evergreen course, how can we keep these calls on every month, like for people that are joining, mid-month, maybe just a few days before the live coaching call actually happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Great. Let's dive in and start looking at some possibilities, and you can direct me as we go as far as what is feeling helpful or not. So let me make sure I understand.
Yeah.
Got kind of an ongoing coaching container happening.
Yes.
Is that right? It sounds like there's people who are in this long term and they're just month after month doing monthly or regular coaching calls.
It's
right or no?
It's only a 3-week course. So basically we have new students each month doing the course.
Okay. So tell me about the journey when people come in. So they come into a 3-week course. They are invited into the course. They see a recorded call. They join a live call. They see a recorded call. Is that?
Right now we actually have all 3 calls live. So you join the course. The kickoff call is live every first of the month. And then we have about 10 days in the middle of the course, we have a live coaching call for anyone that has any questions or need any further explanations. And then at the very end of the course, we offer a celebration call and where we kind of ask for people's success stories, maybe people's testimonials, and then we also offer an upsell from there.
Right. Got it.
Yeah.
So you're saying that now you're doing all 3 live, but you want to turn the first and the third to recorded. Is that the goal?
Possibly, definitely the first call. We can record that because really it just goes over logistics and going through Xperiencify platform. So that wouldn't be a problem for us. It's just the live coaching calls, which would be 2 and 3, is where we're trying to figure out how we can put that into the evergreen part of it.
So tell me what you mean by the evergreen part of it. Like what, because if it's live, it's not evergreen, but I get I get some of what you're up to here.
Yeah.
What, I mean, you can have a recorded first call super easily,
Yeah.
and then 2 live coaching calls.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm clear on what the question is around the 3rd call. Can you describe more about what the question or challenge or what you're trying to do with the 3rd call? When you say make it evergreen, what does that mean? What do you want to do?
Basically being able to have students join in anytime instead of having to wait for that first of the month to start the actual course.
Okay, so why couldn't they just join? And this is just from my understanding of how it's set up. Why couldn't they just join anytime?
Good question.
just so I get what's happening.
So just a little bit of a background. So it's actually for it's a holistic vision course.
Oh, cool.
We actually help people try to improve their vision naturally. So
Oh, you're Claudia's team.
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah, Claudia, perfect. Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
So pretty much there's a lot of things to kind of learn. Right now they have to go through certain modules in order to even join the live coaching call.
Right. Okay. So they join, they've got prep work, and these are trainings they would go through first in this same course or in a different course?
In the same course, yes.
Okay.
We're only going to do this with our one course that we offer every month.
Sorry, say that last part again.
Yes, we're only trying to turn this one course into an evergreen course somehow. And we're kind of stuck on how we can do this with live calls, basically.
Okay, so the simple answer, and then we'll go from there as far as what you need, is a course can really easily have recorded components and live components. So students could come in, watch the intro video that's pre-recorded, go through any trainings that they need to go through that are pre-recorded, and then join into live calls whenever you want to allow them to do that. And we could talk about how to set up allowing them to do that if that was the question. But it's something there. But basically, I mean, they can come in, they can do an intro training, they can do the trainings they need, they can join in live calls, they can be done at the end of 3 weeks. So tell me more, like where's the hitch? Where's the what's not working? Or
so basically with the live call, we're looking at the replay section, right, where we normally upload our recordings.
Okay.
So they only get to join one coaching call for the month. So in the replay section of Xperiencify, it's the replay availability section. So there's an option where it says only existing students, future students won't see. So does that mean we will have to go in and replace that live call every month? Like we can't just keep on adding the replay that is happening, because we don't want to have like 60 within that year. We don't want to have like 60 different replays. Will we have to keep replacing that one replay every month?
It's up to you. You can, if you don't want a long list of trainings, you can replace them. If you want lots of trainings available, you can keep them. If you want trainings available, but it feels like an overload to have it all on that page, you could create a separate custom page and hold past trainings there. This might be helpful. So what might be helpful is with a page builder, you can set up really whatever structure you want of what they're going to see and what's available for them to see. So if you want only the current month's replay on the replays page so that it's not a ridiculously long list, you can just keep one there. And then if you want to have a custom page called archive of past recordings or whatever, you want to do there, I can show you how to set up a custom page, put a training block on it. You can add all the whatever trainings you want in there. You can specify you can get very precise exactly what you do or don't want to include. And you can even choose exactly who you do or don't want to see it. And that gets a little more complex, so I won't overload it if that's not necessary, but FYI, you can tag blocks, so only certain people could see it.
That was actually leading on to my next question about the tags.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because then we were kind of confused on how we can use the tags for new students that can join, because we only want them to see basically kind of that one available coaching call is, if that makes sense.
You only want new students to see one available coaching call.
Yeah. So one coaching call is basically available every month at the same time, but we only want them to have access of the basically the next available coaching call that they can access.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, so that sounds like you would want to swap out the call. I mean, you could even put this on the home page if you want. You could put a training contents block, or if you're doing it manually each month, it's just as easy to just, put a block with that particular month's video right on the home page. So if you want it super simple and clear like that, and then it sounds like there might be another list elsewhere that's not so in your face and overwhelming, that is the list of all the past recordings.
Yes, that sounds like it could work.
That sounded like it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to talk this over with Claudia a little bit, but I think maybe that creating a page that would make more sense for us. We would definitely probably have to swap. I think it makes more sense to swap out the calls. Okay, and then is there a way to release the modules per module instead of per training?
You would just need to set them all, not automatically, you would just need to set them all for the same date or the same trigger or whatever you're using to release. If you want them all to release on April 21st, you'd have to set each training.
Okay. Yeah, because we were thinking, because they're all, we have multiple trainings in one module, so we would just have to go in there individually and set them.
Yes. Yeah. We used to have an option by module or by training. It got super confusing because there were sort of these two different levels of where you could change it, and it didn't really make sense. So we changed it all to just by training for simplicity. Right. And I realized that it makes it a little extra manual work if you're by module.
That's what we were just talking about, because we were pretty sure that we were able to actually set the modules to release before.
You're right. Yeah, that was possible.
And is there a way to, because we want a longer duration than 12 weeks to remove students from a training, is there a longer duration than 12 weeks?
Yeah, you're talking about the timers, right? Just use multiple timers. Just like stack them, add one and add another one. Make
Oh,
sense?
okay. So is that in the secret sauce?
Yeah, want me to show you? Is that
Yes.
better? Yeah. Okay. So let's just go into a course. And yes, you're going to go into add the secret sauce. And this is a good question. This actually comes up a lot. So you're creating an experience for whatever you're trying to do, and what remove from course was, right? So what's the what's your starting trigger? Sorry, what are you trying to do? Like after a certain, you'd want to do like after they join, then wait X weeks and then remove, right? Okay. So the trigger is going to be added to course. And then the first action after they've been added to course is going to be delay timer. And it's going to be set for 12 weeks. And then you're going to add a second delay timer for whatever you want to do, another 4 weeks. This is also the way to make different increments of time, because I recognize there aren't exactly options for what we got here. Let's say you want to do basically, if you want to have intervals of time that aren't exactly weeks or months, you can do 12 weeks, 4 weeks, and a day.
I see. Okay. And then it all just adds up.
It all just adds up. Yeah.
Okay. And then one last question, because
Yeah.
we had a little bit of a problem this year when we ran our challenge. We deleted, I think we removed people from a course, and all of the comments and everything were deleted. So how can we actually remove people from a course but still keep all of that content?
Yeah, we're bringing that back. I'm going to double check and make sure for you, because I can't remember whether that has been deployed or not, but we're definitely we're changing that rather, so that if someone is deleted, their comments will remain, and it'll just say something like deleted user in place of the name of the person who made the comment.
Okay.
But all the comment will still be there. I'm pretty sure that's already out, but I want to double check that for you before you do anything based on that. So
okay, great.
yeah, we get it. That makes sense. That, of course, especially because you got all this great feedback and testimonials, and you want to keep those. So
Yeah, because we actually did it maybe a couple years before. We did the same thing, but it stayed. And then this year we did the same thing, and then all of our comments were gone. Did it change?
It did. And we recognize that doesn't make sense. So yeah, we've brought it back. And again, I'll just double check to make sure that has already been deployed so that it's good for you going forward.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah. Is there a way you maybe send me like a Loom video or something about creating that extra page to keep all of the archive videos? Or
Definitely. Actually, let me check in with the rest of the group about what we got, and let's see if we can do it right here, because I'm sure other people will want to know.
okay, great.
But and if not, then I'll definitely make you a Loom, but it's pretty simple.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, totally. Thanks, Katrina. Good questions. And let me just check in with how everybody's doing and who else has
Yeah,
questions.
I've got questions.
Hey, Sue.
This is Sue. Hi.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, so I'm setting up my I've got a course for teenagers, but the parent has to buy the course. So, and so what I've got, it's a mental game training program. It's going to be 8 weeks. I am going to let mine where people can join at any time. And I'm just going to have my timer so that only certain things release at certain times. Now, I am going to be doing live Q&A every week, but I'm just going to take questions from where they are in the program. So for mine, it should be fine. If they come in and they join, they get their welcome video, and the next day could be a Q&A. They just don't know much by then. But
Sure.
mine are every week, so I'm going to let them join. But what I've got to do is I also have a companion parent course that goes with this. So they have worksheets to work out with the kids. They get a summary of what the kid's doing every week or 2 weeks. And they have like 4 questions to ask their kids. So to open up communication between them. And so what I've got to do is that because these are kids, most of them are not going to have their own email address. So the parent's going to have to buy the course. So somebody has suggested, I just got confused, that the parent gets the course, and it looks like the parent signing up, they get the course, they get to join their own companion course. Then I give a free course for the kids course. And then there's like some big tag or something. So then that parent gets allowed, so their child gets the big course, but they will have to put in a different email address. So what this comes down to, the parent has to buy. So from what I heard from XP is they are the owner of basically both courses, and their email address. So it'll look like they're buying the parent course, but then they're going to have to be allowed to get that other course. But for the child to be able to log in, I was told they're going to have their own login information, which means they're going to have an email that's different from the parent course to get into their course. So how can I do this?
So XP identifies students by email. So it's correct that a user would need an email to log in. Whether if a student uses a parent email or uses their own email is fine as far as login purposes. If you are wanting to add an additional course automatically when somebody buys a course, that's really simple to do. There's a function where when somebody signs up for course A, they automatically get added to course B. And I can show you where that is if you need. I'm not 100% sure if I'm following what the bottom line question is. Has what I've said helped so far, or is there a question?
Yeah. So if the parent buys the main course, and then as soon as they purchase it, it's their name, their main email, and then they get the added bonus course or the free course, which will be their child's course. But for the child to access that, then the child will need to, again, have an email address for them to log in separately from the parent. That's what I was told. So that they, unless all the kids also got access to the parents may not want them to have access to their parent course. It was just kind of, we're going to have the parent will own it, but now I need to have it so the kid can have access anytime they want to, on their tablet or their phone or whatever, their own computer. How do they get signed up if the parent gets that automatic course B? Then how does the child sign up for that course B?
Sounds like you'd need to add the children manually. There's no way to automatically have one person be added and then have some other email that we don't like. There's no logical way to have one person be added and then automatically have a totally different user be added, because that just wouldn't make sense from a purchasing standpoint.
Right. Yeah.
So from what you're describing, it sounds like you'd need to manually add. Basically, there's a couple ways someone can join a course. They can sign up through an order form, either by paying or by getting it for free because there's no price or because it's a coupon code. Or you can manually add them to the course.
Ooh, I'd hate to do that.
What's that?
I'd hate to do that in case I got a lot of orders at once. you know,
Yeah, well, but the thing is here, you're saying there's person A buying a course, and then there's person B that should automatically be added to this course. But we have no way of knowing,
right, yeah,
the system has no way of knowing who's this person B. Do they really have permission to be added?
right, yeah,
How would we possibly know that? So if person B, regardless of whether they're related to person A or not, if person B is not purchasing the course or signing up through an order form or being added through an external payment system and Zapier, then you would need to manually add them. There's just logically, there's only so many ways to get in.
okay. Yeah, that may not be fun, depending on what it is. Okay, and the alternative is the child just uses the parent email address as a login, and they will actually be able to see both courses. When they get in there, they'll just have to go to their athlete course, because obviously both will show up, just like the parent.
If the
But
parent is registered for 2 courses and the
yeah,
child used the parent's magic link to log in, then yeah, they would have access to both courses. You'll just want to make sure that there's a navigator page available. The navigator page is what shows a user or a student rather every course they own. And from that, they can click into it.
okay. So I'll just have to be, it'll say athlete course, parent course. So hopefully the kids will just keep logging into their own. And then I guess the same thing what she was talking about for the timer. I was just going to drop my things is that I'm just going to open up a training every week, and then and then they've got stuff to do, 2 weeks to complete it, and a Q&A, and then that'll just keep rolling through. So as long as I set all my drip, I'm going to drip the content.
Cool.
So all I have to do is set that up ahead of time, and that just goes through, right?
You can set trainings up to drip ahead of time and just have them all automatically roll out. Absolutely.
Okay. And then I didn't understand what she was talking about, the 12-week delayed timer, something like that. Is that removing them from a course?
Yeah,
Like,
she was asking how there's a way you can automatically remove students from a course. And
okay.
so
I think I'm just going to let mine have access. They bought the course, they can just have access to it.
yeah,
Okay.
cool.
Okay. Hopefully when I go to set this up, I'll do it right with so the parent and the child can both get in there.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. Well, let me know if you have questions. Awesome. Thank you, Sue. Cool. Who else? Anybody that hasn't asked a question want to ask anything? And if not, we'll hop into looking at setting up custom pages.
I just had one general question.
Yeah.
I went through EPM, so XP is going to be setting my course up. I
Mhm.
mean, going and doing the formatting and stuff. So the main thing I had was, since I have the 2 courses, the child's course is the longest and the biggest, so I should probably have them do that one first, and then I'll try myself to do the parent course.
We
Would
can
that
help
be
you. Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that sounds good. And we'll help you with the second one.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
great.
Awesome. All right. Let's look at setting up custom pages. So Katrina, basically, actually, let me just start with showing you kind of around and some things you can do, and then we'll go from there. Chat. Oh, Jesse says no questions. Okay, cool. Is this helping, Jesse? Everybody, it's all making sense. Let me go ahead and pull up my screen again.
And you said this is something, because I'm going to do that. I'm going to have that same thing too. I'm going to have like weekly calls. So I don't have a whole bunch of calls all lined up. Maybe I could just have the last week's call there and then the current week's call. And then that's what you're setting up a separate page of where she can keep her older calls. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, basically we're looking at options for how you can house and store and share content with your students. So I'm just going
Okay.
to show you some things that will help and some different options for all the ways you can set things up. So first, let's just look at how to set up a custom page. So you can go into step 4. And you've got all of your core pages here. And if you scroll all the way down, you'll see at the bottom custom pages. We've got a template for a course sales page set up for you. And you can use and modify that if you want to create a sales page. You can also just create as many custom pages as you want. Let's give it a name. I'm just going to call it recordings for purpose of what we're looking at. And like any page, you're going to click into the page builder to edit it. So we're starting with a blank page right here. We've got all of these blocks on the side, which you could just drag and drop to build your page. So you might want a header to start at the top of the page. And then what we want to look at is training content blocks. Now we're on a custom page here, but FYI, Katrina and everybody, you can do what I'm going to show you how to do on any page, even like your regular all trainings page. You could set up different blocks of content. Let me show you what I mean. So you can add as many content blocks to a page as you want. To show you, I'm just going to go ahead and start with dragging 2 of them on. So you could add as many content blocks as you want to a page. You can select exactly what content goes in each block. So for example, in this sample course, I have 5 trainings. If for some reason I wanted to, I could edit the content of this block and open up the data menu. And right here, I'm going to select exactly what content to show in this training block. By default, it's set to all trainings, and I could group them in different ways if I wanted to. I could also show all modules, all bonuses. But what I actually want to look at doing is showing just specific trainings. So you can show just specific trainings, and then you're literally gonna just select exactly what they are. So now I've set the first block to hold trainings 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna make sure and save that. And Katrina, I'm kind of answering a little bit broader than your specific question here, FYI, because I want to just show everybody how all this works, and then we'll drill down a little bit. But what I've done here is I've just set up the first block with training 1, 2, 3, and I could do the same thing and set up the second block with trainings 4 and 5, close and save that. So now I've got 2 different content blocks with 2 different sets of trainings, and I can also select exactly who sees every training. Also by editing the block, going to block visibility, and various options for you just to hold in your mind, Katrina, especially as you're thinking about the ways you can set things up. You can show a content block only between certain dates and times, which could be from day X until day Y. So, and again, this might be a little more complex than what you're doing, but FYI, somebody comes into the course, you want them to see a training for the first 3 days and then not see it anymore, or not see it until day 6 of the course. You can use this feature right here, and each student will only see this block of training on these specific dates of their journey. So obviously that's going to be a different timeline for every student if we're talking an evergreen course, but if they come in and then you set it so they only see this from days 2 to 10 or whatever you need, and then they no longer see it anymore. So there's that option. Also, there's an option to use tags. So you can set a tag for students, and this is really useful for cohorts. If you have students constantly coming in, don't know if this is going to be, it certainly would be some work because you'd need to do it manually. But basically the option here is, obviously you can set up that same block to only show to people who have a particular tag or to only show to people who don't have a particular tag.
Yeah, we were kind of confused about how we would even tag people if we have students constantly coming in every month.
Yeah, that it would get bulky because you would need to do it manually. We have a feature in development that I think is going to be helpful for you, which is that when they purchase the course on the order form, you're going to be able to select a tag to automatically be added to them based on their purchase option. So you might be able to set something up on the order form. I'm still not sure if this is, if you're talking students coming in like randomly, constantly all the time, that gets tough because we're talking, you know, you've got to manually tag people. So Katrina, to go back to your specific use case, I wanted to show kind of all this stuff of what you could do for the options for everybody, but it seems like, let me go back to your basic question, which was basically just to set up a custom page and then put all the trainings on the custom page. So that's all you do is just create the custom page like we did. And then in this edit content section right here, you might be showing all the trainings. So you wouldn't need separate blocks. You would just have a page. You would put all the trainings in there. And then you'll just want to add a navigation tab for students to access the page. So once you've created that custom page, let's go to the home page, and I don't even have a nav tab here. So you've got your navigation tab, and what you would want to do is edit this and add a link. Call it whatever you want. And then select for it to go to, what did we call the page? Select for it to go to recordings. That makes sense. So now students can click here, and this isn't in their face with 60 calls. It's just up here. Here's all your call recordings. And just an FYI for everybody watching this, you can also choose whether to show or hide a nav tab to students based on tag. So if for any reason you didn't want a student to see the tab to here's all your call recordings, you would just go to that link and where's my tag? You'd add a tag to this
Show
link.
to everyone. Maybe that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Sue. It's right in front of me. To people with tag or without tag, and then select. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So let me check in, Katrina. How is this all sounding? Is the separate page with the call recordings feeling like it makes sense? Do you have questions about that?
Yeah, I think it can definitely be an option. We'll have to kind of figure this out a little bit more. We were kind of a little bit confused when we were talking through it yesterday.
Yeah.
But I think it can definitely be an option. But yeah, I'll definitely get back to you and see if I have any further questions. But for the most part, I think you probably answered what we were trying to figure out with the live calls. I mean, I guess technically it wouldn't be evergreen if we were still trying to do live calls every month.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind of a hybrid evergreen
yeah.
live thing, which, there's always ways to make it work.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of figuring out how to make the content easily
Yeah.
accessible without being overwhelming. And there's
Right.
ways to do that.
So it would basically it would be better instead of putting our recordings into the replays section, but instead of creating a whole different page for the recordings is what you're trying to do, right?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Instead of putting the recordings into the replay section of the trainings, where we should create a whole custom page.
Not so much. I wanted to show you the option of custom pages just because if there's ways you want to separate things out or put this here and that there, I want you to have it. But no, you could use the replays page and just hold all the recordings there.
Yeah, that's not the option that we wanted. So I think this one is way better.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't want them to have the option of being able to see all of the previous recordings is kind of what we were trying to figure out as well. So
cool. Okay. Well, there is the feature you discovered of in the replays section, selecting existing students only, future students won't see.
yeah.
So if that's a parameter here, if you only want them to see what's been posted since the date they joined, then you can use that.
Yes. Okay. So basically, if I'm a new student that just joined, I'm not going to be able to see anything that was previously added to the course, right?
Correct. As long as you, as the admin, when you set up the previous replays, you selected the option only existing students, future students won't see.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Well, yeah. Thanks, Katrina.
I have a follow-up question on this page that you're on.
Uh-huh.
For those recordings, when you went and looked and it looked like training 1, training 2, training 3, is there any way that we can put when we add, like I said, on the replay, maybe I just have 1 or 2 weeks, but I'm going to end up, because I'm going to be doing Q's and A's every week, so I'm going to end up with 52 of them a year, or however many. So can I add the most recent one on top? Will it let me add there in the first slot and not have to add it to number 10, 20, 30, 40, or whatever it is?
Yep, you'll do that in step 3. And I don't have anything here yet, but
Oh, and not do it in the custom page.
correct.
Okay, so it'd be better to keep it on the replay page.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Can you order them on the custom page? I would do it on the replay page. Let me show you how easy it. So right here on the replays page, you can just drag and drop them.
Oh, that'll be easy. So then in the replays, they would have to, again, click it open. And if there's 50 of them there, they all going to open up? Or can you know what I'm saying? If I end up with a lot of replays of all those Q&As?
It's up to you, whatever you want to show. Just like we were looking at in the, okay, if you're doing it in the replays section and they open the replays page, if you have 50 replays, they'll see 50 replays. Yeah.
Okay. But if it's got the most
Delineate it
recent
by
one,
date, Sue? Can you delineate it by date? So if they hit, if your replay was for March 27th, you could, instead of just being replay 6, it could have a date by it. Is that possible?
You're talking about the title right here?
Yeah.
Yes, you can change that to whatever you want to call it.
so then if we add the new replay, it'll end up, will the new one end up on top? Or are we going to have to, will it end up down at number 50 and we've got to rearrange the whole thing?
When you add a new replay, it will go to the bottom of the list, but you can just drag it to the top of the list.
And if I've been doing that for, let's say, a whole month, it'll end up showing the most recent date, and then they'll go chronologically backwards.
It'll be
If I've
however you
done that.
left it. Like, it's not going to change on its own.
Right, yeah.
So
So, okay, so each time I come in and add a replay, I should be able to just bump it to the top, and they should all still be in order of, they'll just be in the opposite order. Like the most recent, then last week's, and the week before, that type of thing.
yeah, it'll be in whatever order you left it. And then
Okay.
if there's one that's been added since you modified anything, that will be on the bottom.
Okay. Okay, then I just may keep mine a replay, not add a custom page, but thank you for showing that.
Absolutely. Cool. All right. We've got a couple more minutes. Last questions. Yeah, Melinda, do I see your hand up? Yeah. Hey.
Hey, okay, so I might have missed the tail end of what Katrina was asking, but I am going to be marketing. My audience is corporations, letting their employees go through. So I'm wondering about a couple of things. One, the magic link. Is the magic link the same for the course, regardless of who signs up?
Each student has their own magic link.
Okay, and can they be clustered to a corporation? Is there a way that, I mean, I know they'll have their own magic link, but is there some way, let's say I'm working with Dow Chemical. Can there be all of the Dow people in one area with some kind of note or 2 letters on their magic link? No. Okay, it's just generated. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why that happened.
Oh, no worries. I can still.
Okay. And then when it goes evergreen, is there a way for me to, in Xperiencify, compartmentalize by whomever is showing up? Let's say that I have 4 organizations at one time. They're all going to be in different areas of start and finish. And so to the points also of the replays, or when if I do have a Q&A or whatever, the Q&As go into just the general course itself, not segmented by whoever I did that Q&A session for. Correct?
That's up to you. Did you see when we were looking at separating, or rather customizing training content blocks by tag?
No, I'm sorry. I was in another meeting. I'm sorry.
No worries. So basically you can set up training, you can set up different blocks that trainings or replays or whatever they are will go into.
Okay.
And you can choose to put whatever content you want into a block. So you can say, all right, here's a training content block, and this block contains call A and call B. And this block that contains call A and call B should only be shown to people who have the tag XYZ. So then you would need to give the tag XYZ to the appropriate students.
Okay. I did see that last part where you said add a link, calls, videos, etc. Is that the custom replay? Are you talking about that, or was this earlier?
Say the question again.
Was this about the custom replay that you went through with Katrina, or was this something earlier?
This was earlier.
Let
Let me show you real quick. All right, I'm going to go into an all trainings
I'm sorry,
page.
everybody. Thank you for
No
your
worries. This
patience.
is what we're here for. Oh, look. Okay, so here's an all trainings page, but you could do this on any page, including a custom page. So there's lots of different ways you can house content.
Okay.
On any page, you can add as many training content blocks as you want. So right now I have 2 different training content blocks. And in each of these blocks, I can edit the content. And right here, I can choose exactly what I want to show in this block. So if I wanted to show just specific trainings, 1 and 2 for a particular group, and then I have a different group, and in this training content block, I want to show only trainings 3 and 4. So now I've got 2 blocks, one showing 1 and 2, one showing 3 and 4. Now I'm going to edit the visibility of these blocks by editing content and going to block visibility. And I could choose to only show this block to people with tag XYZ and only choose to show this block to people with a different tag. And they won't even see the other block. A student will only see the block that's visible to them. They won't see anything that they don't have a tag allowing them to see.
Okay. So I think, thank you for that. That helped a lot.
Cool. Yeah.
Because probably within the company, I will have some who will do 2, and I'll have some who will do 4, all 4. So that will be really helpful for me.
Yeah.
And the tags are set up just hashtag
You just
employees, hashtag supervisor, or
you create whatever you want to call them.
okay. Okay, that
So,
sounds good.
yeah, to do tags, you would just go into your account section, go to tags, and I have a bazillion, but you can
Yes,
just
you do.
call it whatever you want.
Okay. Okay.
And now you've got a tag called employees.
Okay. And so can I do employees down, employees, or is that even necessary? Because it just landed on me that Marisa had, 2,500 people going through EPM at the same time, and it didn't really matter who was where. It was basically the same. It's going to be the same course. It's just different people who are contracting to go through it. Like different us paying our money to go through.
It's a good point, and it's a good thing to think about. I mean, that's a great example of Marisa's course of so many people going through at once. I would, and this is for everybody, think about like what you really need, and is it really important for this person to not see this versus seeing this? I mean, yeah, we want to keep it as simple and streamlined as possible. And absolutely, we don't want to overload information, but there's a lot of that already built into the flow of XP with, for example, just showing the next up training block. So there's a lot already working for you as far as streamlining and simplifying. So it's a great point, Melinda. I think it's worth, really just thinking, what's the bottom line essential here? Do I really have to segment this or separate this, or can I just have the info, let them go through as they?
For everybody. Now, if I am going to tag DAO, tag library, whatever. Does that give me a way of really kind of monitoring them a little bit more than having to scroll through if I'm trying to find somebody? Or
You can filter by tag and select everybody who has a particular tag,
okay,
and it'll call up a list of students with just that tag.
okay. So my question for that is, let's say that an HR person says, okay, who hasn't completed the course? That, is it just, how do I know who hasn't completed?
Well, you can also filter for things like points,
Okay,
percentage completion.
okay. Okay, I'm gonna get it all loaded first, and then I'll get to that.
Cool.
I'll get to that other. Thank you very much for that. And we can load without having our videos done, right? I'm like a couple of other people here. I think I'm gonna do live videos and then edit them and have them put into just that placeholder, right?
Yeah, I think you're saying you want to build the course as you go. So you want to basically set up the structure and the shell and things look nice for your students. And
Right.
then you can absolutely be just creating each week's training or however you're rolling it out and be uploading it week by week
Well,
or
I
as
want
you
to have
need.
everything completely finished for them. That would be too nerve-wracking for me, I think, to try and build as I go. But they will be able to go through and get the experience points. The only thing they're going to be waiting on is for me to do the lives, to do
Oh,
the explanation video,
I see
right?
what you're saying. I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. There's like places or parts of the course that they can complete, and then there's parts that are waiting on a live video.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Okay.
just upload. And there's lots of ways you can do this, depending on exactly what the setup of your course looks like. But yeah, you can just upload the video and maybe a couple action steps once you upload it that say, watch the video, put into practice this thing I just learned, and give them like a quick, 5-minute action they can check off and say that they did it so that they get what they're learning from the video.
Well, my thoughts were whatever they needed to do for XP points, they wouldn't have to worry about that until I went live and gave them the information.
Sure. Yeah, you can do it that way. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay, that's perfect. I don't know. I forgot. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. Great questions, guys. Is this
I just had a
helping?
quick tag question.
I've got a pretty hard out at the top of the hour, but let's see
okay.
how quick it is.
Oh yeah, it was just that I'm gonna have like a VIP status, so the parents can sign the kids up to get certain assessments and things. So that, I don't know, that's called bonus training and all that, but I could tag them that those extra trainings, like you said, would show up if they had 2 extra trainings based on that they upgraded and paid more money, right? So that's not like a separate course. They'll just get it inside, so that if they're tagged VIP, they get those extra trainings or something like that.
You can always easily set up bonus content or extra trainings or whatever you're calling it and put it in a block like we looked at earlier, and just tag that block. This is only for people who have this tag, and
Right,
nobody
okay.
else will even know it's there.
Okay, good.
Oh, great question, Sue.
Yeah. Good questions, you guys. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Fantastic work. Thank you. Great stuff. We'll get the recording of this up ASAP if you want to rewatch anything, and reach out to me on the desk if you need any help. And I
Okay,
will
thank
talk to
you.
you guys soon. All right. Thanks.
Bye.